น play of light and darkness, of night and day.
Weightless, I am weightless. Underneath your wind I soar. Wasted, I feel wasted. With every breath I draw from you. I die a million times for you.
เ
has in store for me. People passing by in the street will be smiling at me, 'cause we already know what it's like being in love. The sky starts to roll up its clouds, so the sun can just stop hiding out. The windows will open and sing like birds that are spreading wings. So every night I stare at the moon, 'cause we already know what it's like being in love. The sky starts to roll up its clouds, so the sun can just stop hiding out. The windows will open and sing like birds that are spreading wings. So every night I stare at the moon, just to check if she's still looking blue. Don't know who you are yet, you seem a bit hard to get, but I know you're out there. I just wait for the day where the sky will spread open its clouds, so the sun can just stop hiding out. The windows will open and sing like birds that are spreading their wings. And I spot you right across the street, like a song that is playing just for me. We'll know and we'll smile as if we knew. All this time I was waiting for you. The sky will spread open its clouds, so the sun can just stop hiding out. The windows will open and sing like birds that are spreading, that are spreading.
Mind all of its own.
know